It's shocking, really, how tragedy can strike even those at the pinnacle of sports. Names like Andrés Escobar, Sean Taylor, Bruiser Brody, and Darrent Williams remind us of talents lost too soon under violent circumstances. They, along with others like Dennis Ten, Steve McNair, Greg Hallman, and Dino Bravo, are part of a grim roster of athletes whose lives were abruptly stolen away. Each story is a stark reminder that no amount of fame can shield you from the darker facets of human nature. This is the story of athletes who were shockingly murdered. Tragically, the sports world lost a true gem when Dennis Ten, Kazakhstan's figure skating star and Olympic medalist, was fatally stabbed in a car robbery gone horribly wrong in July 2018. The attack occurred in broad daylight in Almaty, when Ten confronted two men attempting to steal his car mirrors. The assailants, identified as Nurali Kiyasov and Arman Kudaibergenov, were later arrested and convicted, receiving 18 and 20 years in prison, respectively. Dennis was not just an athlete, but a pioneer for his country in figure skating, propelling the sport to new heights in Kazakhstan. His legacy is not just in medals, but in the hearts he inspired. Gone too soon, Dennis Ten's spark will forever light up the ice he so loved. It's a harsh reality that tragedy doesn't spare even the most celebrated figures. Take Steve McNair, for example, once a powerhouse on the football field. McNair led the Tennessee Titans to unforgettable moments, like their near Super Bowl win in 2000. But off the field, his life ended in a way no one could have predicted. In 2009, McNair was found murdered in his Nashville condo, a victim of a horrific crime committed by his girlfriend, Sahel Kazemi, in what was ruled a murder-suicide. The shockwaves through the sports community were palpable as fans grappled with the loss of not only a football hero, but a generous man who had given so much back to his community. In remembering Steve McNair, we celebrate a life that was about much more than its tragic end. It was about strength, passion, and a legacy that outlives the echoes of that fateful 4th of July. Andrés Escobar, a celebrated soccer star, met a tragic end that shook not just Colombia but the world of sports. In the summer of 1994, after accidentally scoring an own goal that dashed Colombia's hopes at the World Cup, Escobar returned home, only to be murdered outside a bar in Medellin. The irony was chilling. His mistake on the field was met with cheers of "goal" from three men who fatally shot him as a grim echo of his on-field blunder. The ripple effects of his death were profound, touching on issues of crime and sportsmanship. Humberto Castro Munoz, linked to a local drug cartel and deeply affected financially by Colombia's loss, was arrested and confessed to the killing. Initially sentenced to 43 years, his term was reduced, and he walked free after serving just 11 years, a fact that still stirs anger and debate. Escobar's legacy, however, transcends his untimely death. Known for his skill and sportsmanship, he symbolized hope and passion, qualities that the throngs of mourners at his funeral procession attested to. Rest in peace, Andrés. You will never be forgotten. It's hard to talk about Sean Taylor without feeling a pang of loss for what could have been. A formidable presence on the football field, Taylor was known for his fierce tackles and undeniable talent as a safety for the Washington Redskins. Tragically, his life was cut short at just 24 when intruders intending to burglarize his Miami home fatally shot him during a confrontation. After various plea deals and trials, Eric Rivera, the shooter, received a 57-year prison sentence. The others also received significant sentences, ranging from 18 years to life, reflecting the severity and the senseless nature of their actions. Remembering Sean, we don't just recall a phenomenal athlete, but a spirited individual whose intensity on the field was matched only by his kindness off it. Rest in power, Sean. Your legacy in the NFL is as indelible as your impact was profound. Bruiser Brody was a towering figure in the world of professional wrestling, renowned for his fierce persona and unpredictable style that resonated deeply with fans across the globe. Tragically, his life was cut short in 1988 under horrifying circumstances. While in Puerto Rico for a wrestling event, Brody was fatally stabbed in a locker room altercation. The details are chilling. He was attacked by a fellow wrestler, Jose Gonzalez, who was later tried but controversially acquitted, leaving the wrestling community in shock and disbelief. Brody's legacy as a brawler and a trailblazer in the wrestling world remains influential, inspiring countless wrestlers to adopt his intense, no-holds-barred approach. Despite the grim end, Bruiser Brody's spirit continues to slam through the hearts of fans everywhere, keeping the legend alive in the rowdiest of wrestling tales. Darrent Williams' career with the Denver Broncos was on a promising trajectory. Just 2 seasons in, the young cornerback was showing the kind of potential that could have made him a standout in the NFL. Sadly, his life was tragically cut short early on New Year's Day in 2007. After celebrating at a party, a confrontation with gang members led Darrent and his teammates, including Brandon Marshall, to leave in a hurry. As they were driving away in a limousine, a devastating sequence unfolded. Willie D. Clark, identified as a member of the Crips gang, pulled up alongside their vehicle and fired multiple shots, one of which fatally struck Williams in the neck. The aftermath of that night was heart-wrenching, with Williams dying in the arms of his teammate Javon Walker. The incident also left 2 other passengers injured. Justice followed when Clark was convicted and sentenced to life in prison in 2010, providing a somber conclusion to a senseless act of violence. As we remember Darrent, it's not just the bright future he had on the football field that we mourn, but the man he was off the field, vibrant, full of life, and gone far too soon. Here's to Darrent, whose legacy as a rising star and a cherished teammate continues to inspire. It's always a chilling reminder of the unpredictable dangers lurking in everyday moments when we revisit the tragic story of Vernon Forrest. On a seemingly mundane night in Atlanta, the former boxing champ's life was brutally cut short. Forrest, who was just 38, had achieved a stellar career with a record of 41 wins, 3 losses, and 29 of those wins coming by way of knockout. He wasn't just a fighter in the ring, he was a champion in the welterweight and junior middleweight divisions and took on some big names like Shane Mosley and Ricardo Mayorga. That fateful evening of July 25, 2009, found Forrest at a gas station, a routine stop to inflate his tires. His 11-year-old godson was with him, stepping inside the store when the unthinkable happened. A robber named Jaquante Cruz confronted Forrest, a gun in hand, demanding what little he might have had on him. True to his nature, Forrest didn't back down easily and chased the thief. But the situation rapidly deteriorated when a second assailant, Charmone Sinkfield, intervened, shooting Forrest multiple times in the back. The scene left a city in mourning and the boxing world reeling. Forrest was not just a formidable athlete, but a man who fought bravely both inside and outside the ring. To the sports world, he remains not just a statistic of past championships, but a reminder of the courage and unpredictability of life itself. Rest in peace. Trevor Berbick's life story reads like a Hollywood script, marked by towering highs and tragic lows. Best remembered as the last opponent of Muhammad Ali and the man dethroned by a young Mike Tyson, Berbick battled many notable fighters during his career. Names like Larry Holmes and Buster Douglas pepper his resume, reflecting a time when he was at the pinnacle of heavyweight boxing. Despite his success, Berbick's life outside the ring was tumultuous. Legal troubles and altercations marred his later years until his shocking murder in 2006. At 52, in Norwich, Jamaica, he met a violent end over a land dispute, beaten with a machete or some other lethal weapon. Berbick had suffered savage chopping wounds to the rear of his skull. Police on the scene felt he must have died almost instantly, with no chance to defend himself. His own nephew, Harold Berbick, played a central role in the crime, landing a life sentence for murder, while an 18-year-old accomplice, Kenton Gordon, received 14 years for manslaughter. For a man who once stood on top of the boxing world, it's a somber reminder of how quickly fortunes can turn. Trevor Berbick's legacy, complex and controversial, leaves a lasting impact far beyond the ropes of the ring. Here's to remembering the champion, the challenger, the man. Dino Bravo, a once celebrated pro wrestler, met a tragic end far from the wrestling rings where he made his name. At the age of 44, Bravo was found dead in his Quebec home in 1993, the victim of a shooting believed to be linked to his alleged involvement with illegal cigarette smuggling in Canada. The case turned cold with no arrests made, leaving the sports community and his fans in a long-lasting shock. Bravo had transitioned from a vibrant wrestling career, noted for his powerful Canadian strongman persona, into a quieter post-wrestling life that unfortunately veered into dangerous territories. His life, marked by his impressive bench press records and memorable WrestleMania appearances, was cut tragically short, Dino Bravo, the strongman who once lifted spirits as high as his weights, left the ring too soon. As we close this video, let's remember the remarkable lives these athletes led, far beyond the way they were tragically taken from us. Their legacies are about more than their final moments. They're about the inspiration and joy they brought to fans around the world. If this video touched you, please consider subscribing to our channel for more thoughtful content. Thank you for watching. We hope to see you soon in our next video.